Welcome back. Today we will learn about the explosive return of Victor Kiriaki's long-lost children and the devastating power struggle that threatens to tear apart the very foundation of Titan Industries. The Kiriakis' empire under siege. The corporate world of Salem has been rocked to its core as whispers spread through the corridors of Titan Industries about an unprecedented family uprising. What was once considered a settled inheritance battle has erupted into a full-scale war for control, with Victor Kiriaki's forgotten heirs emerging from the shadows to stake their claims on the billion-dollar empire their father built through decades of ruthless business dealings and underground connections. The current leadership structure, which seemed so secure just months ago, now hangs by the thinnest of threads. Xander Cook Kiriakis, who only recently discovered his true paternity through a letter revealed after Victor's tragic death, finds himself facing the fight of his life. Meanwhile, Maggie Kiriakis, Victor's beloved widow who inherited half of his fortune, must navigate treacherous waters as she attempts to honor her late husband's wishes while protecting the company from complete dissolution. Isabella Tuscano, the phantom heiress, returns. In perhaps the most shocking development of this unfolding drama, sources close to the Kiriakis family suggest that Isabella Tuscano, Victor's eldest daughter who was presumed permanently lost to pancreatic cancer in 1992, may somehow be returning to Salem. This revelation has sent shockwaves through the community, as Isabella was not only Victor's firstborn but also the inspiration behind the very creation of Titan Industries. Isabella's tragic story began in the late 1980s when she entered Victor's life as a young woman in her early 20s, initially confined to a mental institution before Jack Devereaux heroically rescued her from what seemed like certain doom. Her mother Loretta Toscano's diary entries had revealed the earth-shattering truth that Victor, not the villainous Ernesto Toscano, was her biological father. This discovery would reshape the entire Kiriakis dynasty and set the stage for decades of family drama. The emotional weight of Isabella's presence in Victor's life cannot be overstated. Her love affair with John Black, during the time when everyone believed him to be Roman Brady, created a complex web of relationships that would influence Salem's power structure for generations. Their union produced Brady Black, Victor's cherished grandson, making Isabella's potential return even more significant for the current inheritance battle. What makes Isabella's rumored return particularly intriguing is the timing. With Titan Industries facing unprecedented challenges and corporate raiders circling like vultures, her appearance could provide the legal ammunition needed to completely restructure the company's ownership. As Victor's eldest child and the original inspiration for his legitimate business empire, Isabella's claim to the Kiriakis' fortune would supersede virtually all other family members. Beau Brady, the prodigal son's strategic alliance. Beauregard Aurelius Brady, better known as Beau Brady, represents another formidable threat to the current Titan leadership structure. Born in 1963 to Caroline Brady, Beau spent most of his life believing that Sean Brady was his biological father, unaware that he carried the blood of Salem's most powerful patriarch. This deception, which lasted for decades, created a unique dynamic between father and son that was characterized by both intense conflict and grudging respect. Beau's relationship with Victor has always been tumultuous, marked by multiple attempts on his life orchestrated by his own father, and even Victor's elaborate scheme to fake his own death while framing Beau for the murder. These dramatic confrontations forged Beau into a man capable of matching Victor's ruthlessness when necessary, making him a particularly dangerous adversary in any corporate battle. The recent revelation that Beau has emerged from his coma as a changed man, with his focus now centered on Victor's complex past, suggests a strategic mastermind ready to claim what he believes is rightfully his. Unlike his previous confrontations with Victor, which were often driven by emotion and family loyalty, Beau's current approach appears calculated and methodical, designed to maximize his leverage in the upcoming inheritance war. What makes Beau's position particularly strong is his intimate knowledge of Victor's business operations, both legitimate and underground. Having been involved in numerous family crises over the years, Beau understands the intricate network of connections that keep Titan Industries profitable and protected. This insider knowledge, combined with his newfound strategic focus, makes him an invaluable ally for Philip Kyriakis in their joint campaign against Xander and Maggie. The Unholy Alliance, Philip's master strategy. Philip Kyriakis, Victor's youngest son who was raised from birth within the family empire, has positioned himself as the architect of this unprecedented family rebellion. Despite his privileged upbringing and access to Victor's resources throughout his life, Philip has always struggled with feelings of inadequacy and the need to prove himself worthy of the Kyriakis name. His gambling debts, which once brought dangerous criminals to his doorstep, demonstrated both his weaknesses and his father's protective instincts when Victor unleashed violent retribution against those who dared threaten his son. The sophisticated nature of Philip's current strategy reveals a man who has learned from his past mistakes and channeled his inherited cunning into a comprehensive campaign for corporate control. By reaching out to his half-siblings Isabella and Bo, Philip is assembling a coalition that could theoretically outvote any decisions made by Xander and Maggie regarding Titan's future direction. This alliance represents more than just a family squabble. It's a calculated business maneuver designed to exploit legal loopholes in Victor's will and corporate governance structure. Philip's recent partnership with Xander, which appeared to be a gesture of brotherly cooperation, now seems like a masterful deception designed to gather intelligence about the company's vulnerabilities. While publicly working together to expand Titan's operations, Philip has been secretly documenting every decision, every financial transaction, and every strategic mistake that could later be used to challenge Xander's fitness as a corporate leader. Xander's precarious position. Xander Cook Kyriakis finds himself in an increasingly untenable position as the walls close in around him. Having only recently learned of his true parentage through a letter that surfaced after Victor's death, Xander lacks the deep family connections and political alliances that his half-siblings have cultivated over decades. His outsider status, which once seemed like an advantage in terms of bringing fresh perspectives to Titan Industries, has now become a critical vulnerability in this high-stakes family power struggle. The psychological impact of discovering his parentage so late in life, combined with the immediate pressure of running a multinational corporation, has left Xander emotionally exposed and strategically isolated. Unlike Philip, who grew up understanding the complexities of the Kyriakis business empire, or Bo and Isabella, who have extensive histories with Victor's decision-making processes, Xander must navigate corporate politics while simultaneously learning about his family's complicated legacy. Recent developments suggest that Xander's leadership decisions are being scrutinized and documented by hostile family members, creating a paper trail that could be used to challenge his competency in court. Every merger discussion, every personnel decision, and every financial strategy is now viewed through the lens of potential legal action, making it nearly impossible for Xander to operate effectively as a CEO while under such intense scrutiny. Maggie's dilemma: love versus legacy. Maggie Kyriakis occupies perhaps the most emotionally complex position in this unfolding drama. As Victor's widow and the recipient of half his fortune, she theoretically possesses significant power to influence Titan's future direction. However, her emotional attachment to Victor's memory and her desire to honor his final wishes puts her at odds with the practical realities of corporate warfare. Maggie's decision to distribute portions of her inheritance to other family members was intended as a gesture of unity and reconciliation, but it may have inadvertently weakened her position in the current power struggle. By diluting her own financial stake in the company, she has reduced her ability to counter the coordinated challenge from Philip's alliance while simultaneously creating additional stakeholders with potentially competing interests. The emotional toll of watching Victor's children tear apart his life's work is evident in Maggie's increasingly desperate attempts to find compromise solutions. However, her opponents appear to have moved beyond negotiation and into full-scale corporate warfare, leaving her with limited options for preserving both family harmony and business stability. The battle for Titan's soul. As this unprecedented family conflict intensifies, the very nature of Titan Industries hangs in the balance. What began as Victor Kyriakis' attempt to create a legitimate business empire as a tribute to his beloved daughter Isabella has devolved into a corporate battlefield where family loyalties are weaponized and emotional manipulation has become standard operating procedure. The potential fragmentation of Titan into multiple competing entities would represent not just a business failure, but the complete destruction of Victor's legacy and the dissolution of one of Salem's most powerful institutions. The ripple effects of such a collapse would extend far beyond the Kiriakis family, impacting employees, business partners, and the broader community that has grown dependent on Titan's economic influence. With battle lines drawn and alliances solidified, the stage is set for a confrontation that will determine not only who controls Titan Industries, but whether the company will survive this family war intact. As Victor's children prepare for their final assault on Xander and Maggie's leadership, one question remains: will there be anything left of the Kiriakis' empire worth fighting for once the dust settles? The answer to that question may determine the fate of Salem's business community for generations to come, as the children of Victor Kiriakis prepare to either rebuild their father's legacy or destroy it completely in their quest for power and recognition. Days of Our Lives Recap, Wednesday, September 3, 2025. Anger management, old wounds, and unfinished business. The day begins in the heart of Salem's town square, where chance encounters so often shape destinies. On this particular afternoon, Gabi Hernandez bumps into Philip Kiriakis. The two are not strangers to complicated emotions, and their exchange is tinged with both awkward humor and unspoken truths. They reminisce, lightly, carefully, about the evening they shared the night before. Their smiles are genuine, but beneath them lingers the tension of knowing that pleasure and regret often walk hand in hand in Salem. Gabi teases that they had better keep their fun hidden, lest human resources at Titan Industries discover and start asking questions. It's an easy joke, but Philip responds in a way that hints at something deeper. With a wry grin, he shrugs it off, remarking that perhaps it doesn't matter if anyone finds out. After all, he's seriously thinking about quitting his job. Philip confesses to Gabi that he's grown weary of working under Xander Cook. The arrangement, never comfortable to begin with, has worn him thin. The endless power struggles, the lack of trust, and the constant sense of being watched have left him restless. But leaving would mean not just cutting ties with Xander, but also abandoning Gabi and the other employees who depend on his leadership. That thought clearly weighs on him. Gabi, ever pragmatic, tells him to put his happiness first. She encourages him to seek fulfillment, even if that means making a difficult change. Still, she cautions him against rash decisions. Life in Salem has taught her that impulsive choices often come back to haunt you. Philip, playing off her concern, raises his eyebrows and repeats her warning with mock offense. Me? Scurry? His exaggerated expression brings a rare moment of laughter, and for a fleeting second, the heaviness of their lives lifts. Their smiles, genuine and warm, linger in the cool air of the square. A fragile reminder that even in Salem, lightness can break through the storm clouds. Meanwhile, across town, the mood is much heavier. Inside the quiet townhouse, Dr. Marlena Evans is absorbed in the pages of her new book, Calm the Mind. The serene title stands in sharp contrast to the storm that is about to arrive at her door. Moments later, Xander Cook barges in, still seething from yet another bitter clash with Philip. His shoulders are tight, his jaw clenched, anger radiates from him like heat. Marlena sets her book aside and prepares herself. She knows this session will not be simple. Xander begins not with complaints about Philip but with an unexpected confession. He admits that, deep down, he longs to be the hero his daughter, Victoria, believes he can be. To her, he is strong, dependable, even admirable. But to everyone else? He fears he is little more than a thug in a tailored suit. He recalls how Sarah Horton once looked at him with the same kind of faith, but those days are gone. Sarah has since seen too much, been hurt too deeply. Her trust has been shattered, and Xander knows it may never return. He reflects bitterly on his past, acknowledging that for most of his life, he has been nothing more than a weapon for Victor Kiriakis. His role was simple but brutal, to bend others to Victor's will, to break those who resisted. He excelled at it, and that legacy clings to him. Now, even though Victor is gone and the old patriarch's iron grip on Salem has ended, Xander cannot shake the shadow he casts. Marlena, calm as ever, reminds him that Victor's death is also an opening. Without his uncle's influence, Xander has the rare opportunity to choose a new path. He is not condemned to be the man he once was. The future can be written differently, if only he has the courage to step into it. But Xander struggles to believe her. His voice grows rough, his hands restless. He says the liars, the schemers, the manipulators, people who seem to thrive in Salem's endless games of betrayal, make his blood boil. He cannot stand deceit, and yet, he is surrounded by it. From Philip's constant maneuvers to Sarah's secrets, it all fuels his fury. And then, in a moment of vulnerability, Xander shares the secret that has been eating away at him. He tells Marlena about Philip's forged letter, a deceitful scheme designed to manipulate those around him. Worse still, Sarah discovered the truth but chose to keep it from Xander. The betrayal cuts deeply. That Sarah, of all people, would withhold such vital information fills him with a rage so raw that he admits it frightens him. Every time he sees Philip, he says, it is like rubbing salt in the wound. Philip's mere presence is a reminder of the lies, the betrayal, and the unbearable pain that both he and Sarah have inflicted upon him. It's not just anger. It's humiliation, heartbreak, and the suffocating sense that he has once again been cast as the villain in a story where he longs to be the hero. Marlena listens carefully, her expression steady, her tone gentle. She reminds him that therapy is not about denying anger but about learning to manage it, to strip it of its power. She urges him to see that his pain comes not just from Philip or Sarah, but from the choices he makes about how to respond. Xander, however, is far from convinced. His shoulders slump as he admits that he feels trapped in a cycle he cannot escape. He wants to believe he can change, but the rage burns too hot, too close to the surface. It is a dangerous fire, one that threatens to consume not only him but anyone who stands in his way.